Haya. Nitaomba tena nianze. Ule ndo kwanza, si ndio?
Hey guys, I want to make a video just directly telling you some of the, I find, amazing things that God is doing through Share Tanzania right now. You always hear about what God is doing with Feather's Tail and Angel's Gate predominantly, but you don't really, when I'm not on outreach with the camera or doing anything like that, you don't get to see it. You don't get to see the way God is working through it all, and the way God is using when you guys drop the odd $10 here, $20 there, and click area of greatest need. I want you to see where this is going. And when I get back to Tanzania, I'm hoping I've got energy to start going back out again, because that's where I thrive. But for now, I've been asking the team to relay information to me, and I just haven't had the clarity to show you, and I want to show you now. God is with us at every step we can take, and sometimes we'll make mistakes, sometimes we'll not hear the direction that He's offering because we're too busy in our carnal mind or the ego, and it's easy to lose faith on the planet when that sort of stuff is going on, because it's very hard when we're not taught how to hear God to make sure that we stay aligned with everything. Now, with that said, I want to show you just how much I know God is talking to the team at Share Tanzania. Now, I'm going to start with a beautiful story that came from our social worker, and her name is Wanyama, and Wanyama goes on outreach. You've seen her in a few of the videos with me, but before Christmas she went on outreach, and she'd heard a tip-off that there was a child locked in a room. The child was severely neglected, and not due to the fact the mother didn't love him. The mother loves him, but she has to work to feed her other children as well. And it's a hard thing to get your head around, but what's your choice? Single mum, disabled child, able-bodied child. What do you do? There's no government support, there's no benefits, there's no welfare. You have a choice. You starve or you leave your child alone while you work. So she would leave him alone. Wanyama got there and the door was not locked, and she opened it. Now, we all know the risks to special needs children and what they go through. And when she opened the door, this little boy was just laid there alone. And she sent me a WhatsApp video a few moments after she got there. And it broke my heart, and I'm sure it would break anyone else's heart to think that that child had to lay there for 12 to 14 hours a day while his mother was working in quarries and in fields, etc. Just waiting for her to come home, have a little bit of interaction, and then she would sleep. And it broke her heart that she was like that with him, and she said she knows it's not okay, but she had no choice. Thankfully, due to the support of you guys who sponsor children in our care and make the odd donation here and there, we brought them both to Feather's Tail, and they're starting their life at Feather's Tail, and the mother gets full-time employment, and then she can support her other children as well. Complete change around for everybody's life. The mother's no longer in turmoil, the poverty is much less, and the child, of course, gets friendship, love and caring instead of being alone staring at the roof for 14 hours a day. And that's because God is working through us, and that's because God works through you guys to share or to give, as people like to say. But I'm not a believer in giving, I believe in sharing. I think when you give, you can sometimes give what you think is you're able to give. When you share, you can really evaluate yourself and work out exactly what you don't need and what you can do to improve the life of another. That was one story from Wanyama, and I think I'll follow up with a second story, and this one broke my heart because I can see that this is something that can happen to anybody who doesn't get medical care. I currently have Lyme's disease, as you all know, or Borrelia and babesiosis. Left untreated, people can become lifetime cripples from these illnesses. We met two brothers who walk on all fours backwards like a crab, and the reason they walk like that is unknown. And they said maybe they have cerebral palsy, but the parents tell us they were both fine until the age of 8 and 10. That tells us it was an environmental pollutant, bacteria, more than likely. Could be something else, could be poison from something. But obviously the two brothers have been somewhere and contracted this together, playing when they were little. The village doctors do their best, but they have no labs. So they try their best, but they'll try and give antibiotics. But I've said this before, I have children. Children die. Children die because they don't have as little as less than $1 for the antibiotics for typhoid, to give you an example. And I've had typhoid from drinking tap water. Most people drink tap water in Tanzania. So it's a lethal combination when you don't have a little bit of money. I've seen whole families fast for 2 or 3 days just so they had money to buy antibiotics or anti-malarials for a child that's sick. That's life. That's where it is for many people on the planet. And sadly, these two brothers who we are working to support at home, we haven't begun yet because we don't have the resources. So this video is also to say this is where we need support at the moment. They are walking around like crabs on the back of their hands. I feel home support is better for them. I don't feel they're at risk of any witch doctors, etc. And I can see that there's a chance for them. They have a mental capacity where we could teach them to live at home. And we could even do physio with the family, where the family act as the physiotherapist, and we'll go out and do home visits with the outreach team, and that will hopefully allow us to start teaching them a more practical way to move their bodies once we address what's crippling their muscles like this. I'm presuming once we get every test back, we've already been to the hospital for tests, but I presume there's something going on bacterially or something poisoning, etc. We'll see what's going on. That's 2 stories from the wonderful Wanyama and the work that she does. She gets very involved on the outreach, as I say, and she's a huge blessing to all of the children. And she's truly a worker for God without any shadow of a doubt. All of the team work for God without any shadow of a doubt. Now, the other thing that's going on behind the scenes that you don't see, and I don't let you see it because it's a very personal thing. We have a hospice, but we also have outreach palliative care. And we have one lady who asked if she could share her story because she wanted others to be able to have the help that she got. And we call her Mama Vanessa affectionately so. And she, about a year and a half ago, came to us to die. And she turned it around. She, using targeted nutrition and using medication and targeting certain problems she had in her body. I won't divulge her full medical history, but she was dying, and she's gone deaf since she was in our care, but she's restored energy after that episode, and she's now with her children. She told us she went from debating. To give you an idea, this lady was left wondering whether she should kill. Her husband is already dead, by the way, I should add. And she went through the thought process of, instead of her children starving to death slowly, maybe she should kill herself and the children. I know this family closely now, and they had support from a family who visited the Powells, who helped us with certain things that were needed, breast formula while she was sick, etc. for the child, the baby boy. The baby boy was living at Featherstail with different surrogate mums for a while whilst she was in her deathbed. And before she came to us, this poor lady contemplated killing her own children to save them starving. Brutal when we live on a planet where we waste enough food in England and America to end world hunger. That's how much we waste every year, 40 million tons. It's enough to end world hunger. It starts at home. Starts with us, you know. Inside our palliative care as well, it's tricky to talk about for me, but at the same time, I know that they agree that we need this, and I think we need you guys to know about it because that's where the support's coming for it. So We have a lady in there at the moment, she's doing well, but she came with her son, and her son's living with my son, Dominic, now. And the bond we see, let's talk nothing about the fact of the medical side of it, but the bond that has grown. I mean, this little boy who is only 15, he was looking after his dying mother and going to school. He's a little hero. You know, so many children are heroes out in Tanzania. He was naturally, there was a distance growing because it was a burden to a child to care for a sick and dying person. The person is not behaving correctly because the mother's supposed to look after the child, predominantly in the younger years, and it just created a problem. And now, from finding this lady in a mud house, dying alone, with a little boy struggling to cope with it, now they have this beautiful bond together while she's in this care, and she's actually improving a little bit. So who knows, you know, never say never for people extending their lives. I had a lady come into palliative care 4 years ago. She's still alive. The doctor said she would die. She told me she only felt like eating oranges, and I said, you eat oranges then, nothing else. If that's what you feel like only eating, you eat them. And within a week or 2 weeks, she started to gather some strength. And from the brink of death with AIDS, she's now living a normal life. It's feathers tail. So we never say never, and we always live with hope and prayer that we can do something to reverse, or at least prolong, the goodbyes that nobody wants to say in life. Inside our other outreach for palliative care, we have a gentleman with horrendous cancer. You might have seen him in a video a long time ago. I did a vlog and I met him on the road, and he refused medical care. He's a very wonderful but stubborn old gentleman. He refused medical care. He refuses to come into us to care. We have to go out to him, and we helped him with there's a local herbalist, lives opposite Featherstail actually, and she has a remedy that helps with cancer, and it reduced his tumour from like a tennis ball down to a golf ball size. But it came back, and it is actually the cancer ward, which we are close with at the local hospital, asked us to provide palliative care for him because there was nothing could be done. That care is only offered by you guys saying, oh, I'll put $50 in, $100 in, $10 in, $5 in, $1 in. It all goes towards the fuel, you know, the wear and tear, the off-road vehicles, the staff, the food that we deliver, the medical care we bring out, the supplementation, the multivitamins we have to, all of these things, you know, it all comes from you guys, and I just think you don't get enough time to connect with it while I'm not in Tanzania. And that's why I was making this video, really, just to try and show you, try and connect you with what it is that you're doing in some small way. So much more than that's going on, of course, but this is just one little window, little peek into what's going on. And the work that God is doing when He compels your heart to share, and He compels our hearts to go a certain place, or He whispers at my staff to go left or go right, and they find somebody on outreach. This is all the workings of God through the beautiful, beautiful biological machine that is ourselves, His children. And it overwhelms me sometimes that we have this going on around us, and it's like a dream. To want to serve God, and then to realize every morning waking up that there are so many ways in which what God did through me is serving Him and serving others and serving those in need and those that are suffering, that I can't even list them all. And it's massive. But the foundation of it is always that He needs people to work through. And just as He needed me to go to Tanzania and build this bridge between those who have not and those who have potentially in a way to share to alleviate their suffering, then He also needs people to lean on and work through their hearts. And that is the way God operates. And I saw a beautiful example in September. I went to a place in Tanzania where I've never seen a leopard. A leopard is very hard to see. People will come year after year to see one, but the volunteers were with us, and they all had very open loving hearts towards the work we do. And they were praying about it, or at least I know 2 of them, maybe all were praying, saying, can I see a leopard, God? Is that possible? And as they were leaving, I was ahead of them and a leopard walked out in between my car and theirs, and I missed it, but it walked out in front of theirs. And they got to watch this leopard, and it was God's reward. He sent an angel, he sent an angle of light into the leopard, and the leopard accepted the photon and went, okay, I'll go there. And their prayer was answered. And this is really not normal. Like, people spend years trying to find a leopard in Tanzania. I mean, people come back repetitively for safari to see them, to try and get what they want. And this is what I see when people have loving, open, good hearts. Then God, it's not about service to get a reward, but God does reward. And I just hope and pray you all take some reward in seeing the good that your help is doing for the children in Tanzania right now, and for the adults as well. Because it's huge, guys, and it's non-comprehensible. I can't even begin to start describing it all. But I'm going to do my level best to use my energy as wisely as I can and focus most of it on connecting you guys with what's going on, because I think that is my greatest good, is allowing the world to see what they can do through Share Tanzania, which is an arm of God. And I hope that I achieve that better this year. And I think I will, because I prayed hard for someone to help with videos. And a content creator from England appeared, and they are coming to stay with us in March. And I'm very impressed, and she's a psychologist as well. I'm very feeling good about her coming, and it'll create some beautiful content, I'm sure. So this is everything that's going on. Some of what's going on, not everything, sorry. And this is some of what you're doing to help. You know, it's massive. And there are still things we need. There are many things that I desperately need, and things that we need. We need to do wheelchair paths all around Featherstone, because I can see the need for the kids to have mobility, and the ground's rocky and muddy, and it's not. And especially with rainy season coming, that means we can't take them anywhere on the land. So things like that, I'll, as the year goes on, start doing small fundraisers here or there. But God knows my prayer. But what I want you to realize is that I want you to connect with where what you're sharing goes. And I don't feel I've done a good job of that lately, and I'm going to work hard to try and amend that as best that I can. And thank you, because all of those beautiful, wonderful things that the team are doing at the moment, without me, I'm not there doing I was doing them before I came back here, but the team are doing that with the resources that myself and the accounting team manage, that come from you. And when you go to bed tonight, if you've put even $1 or a prayer, or you've shared a post even, then have a little bit of pride, humble pride, because you did that. We, myself, the team, you guys, God, we did that. If we can do that for a few people, we can do that for many more as a species. God bless, guys. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, as it really helps us to grow the channel, and with it help more children here in Tanzania. Also, don't forget you can support our work by sharing with children in crisis here. be it sharing for a particular need or even sharing one-on-one support for education, housing, food and medical care. It can be done for as little as the cost of a cup of coffee a week back in the West after all. Just visit www.sharetanzania.co.uk to find out more. Lastly, remember you can also support us via Patreon, www.patreon.com/featherstail, and help keep us here in Tanzania to continue our work. The links for the website and for the Patreon are in the description box of this video. Love and light, guys. See you soon.